Good morning, Year 5. Welcome back to topic. So we started a new topic last week, which was Italy. Today we are going to be comparing the life of a Canterbury person to the life of someone who lives in Venice. Okay, so by the end of today's lesson, you will know the key features of Italy's physical geography and how it can affect human geography, and you'll be able to compare life in Venice with life in Canterbury. So first things first, a quick little recap. I'd like to know what continent Italy is in, and I'd like to know what the temperature is like compared to England. Can you explain why? So I'd like you to do that on your worksheet here. You can pause the video and do that now. Okay, so today we're going to be looking at physical geography and how it affects the way that people live. So we actually looked at physical geography when we were doing Spain. Can you remember what physical geography means? Let's have a little look. The branch of geography dealing with natural features. Okay, so can you think of any natural features that we could write about in today's lesson that are in Italy? Off you go. Pause the video now. Okay, so physical geography, we looked at it last term in Spain. It was things like rivers, mountains, the coast, and things like that, okay? But human geography is how different people live depending on what is around them, and that's what we're really going to be focusing on today. So, Venice. Situated at the northwestern end of the Adriatic Sea, Venice lives on an archipelago in the crescent-shaped Laguna Veneta, which is the Venice Lagoon, which stretches some 32 miles. So here's Venice here. As you can see, it's right on the coast of the Adriatic Sea. And here's a little sort of close-up of Venice. You can see that there is a lot of water there. So to compare that to Canterbury, is Canterbury located by the sea? Can you describe where Canterbury is in Kent? Don't forget, to help you in your description, you can use the points of a compass. So I'll show you quickly. Here's Canterbury in Kent. Can you describe where it is in Kent in relation to the sea? How do we get to the sea from Canterbury? So you can pause the video and write your answer just here on your worksheet. Off you go. Okay, so next, we're going to be talking about cities. Now, what makes a city a city? A city is the largest type of settlement containing lots of buildings and lots of people. They usually have hospitals, sports facilities, universities, shops, offices, many houses, and a cathedral. Now, uniquely, Venice came into being after the fall of the Roman Empire when the city of Oderzo fell. So, the city of Oderzo was a city, and then it fell, and the city status went from Oderzo over onto the islands of the Venetian lagoon. So that is how Venice became a city. In the UK, some cities may be small, but this is because some settlements have a cathedral and this makes them a city. So what I'd like you to think about now is Canterbury a city? Have a little read through everything that's on this slide here, and on your worksheet just here I'd like you to tell me, is Canterbury a city, and if so, why? You can do that now. Pause the video now. Okay, so Venice is made up of 118 islands. They're joined by bridges and canals, which means that they are the best known form of transport on the waterways of Venice is the gondola, and that's a long black boat. So several hundred of these unique keelless boats are left, and they have long been outnumbered by other vessels, but their elegant, sleek shape and gleaming black paintwork have made them a symbol of Venice. So in this photo, you can actually see people being ferried along in these gondolas. Now, you may have noticed some people in Canterbury being sort of pushed around on long boats by people with long poles like that. And they're going along in the body of water that flows through Canterbury. But can you remember what that body of water is called? What is the body of water that moves all the way through Canterbury? Okay. So the gondola may be the most popular form of travel in Venice, but what about Canterbury? For this, we're going to have to collect some data. So the first thing I'd like you to do is find a window, ideally one that's looking out onto a road, okay? If you can't do this, then I'm sure you could go for a little walk with someone in your house to find a road. And when you get there, all you need to do is take a pen and paper and wait for 5 minutes. And on your worksheet over here, there are lots of different types of transport. So we've got gondola, car, bus, motorbike, and bicycle. And for 5 minutes, I'd like you to make a little tally of the amount of these vehicles that you see. Okay, so I've done a little example. Imagine I'm at my window now, and I'm looking out, and over 5 minutes, I see 5 cars. So I'm going to make a little tally: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, now if I see loads of cars and completely fill this thing up here, that's fine. I'll just stop there. Okay, so do that for 5 minutes, and then tell me what you think the most popular form of travel is in Canterbury and why. Okay, now once you've done that, again on your worksheet, we have 2 questions here that I'd like you to fill in the gaps for. So the first one says, Venice's most popular form of travel is something because something, 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 something. So you'll have to finish that one. And then here it says, Canterbury's most popular form of travel is something because something. So you're going to be taking your results from here and telling me why that's the most popular form of transport in Canterbury. Okay. I wonder if the gondola is the most popular form of transport in Canterbury as well. It'd be very interesting if it was. Okay, so pause the video and do that now. Okay, so a lot of buildings and bridges in Venice are made from Istrian stone, which comes from Croatia. So here's Venice on the little map, and here's Croatia. So why do you think Istrian stone is so popular in Venice? Why do you think it's so popular? I'd like you to write your answer just here in your worksheet. Istrian stone is so popular in Venice because... Okay. And then our city walls in Canterbury are made from flint. Now, flint is a very hard and durable material, and in the southeast of England, it's the main component of most of our beaches. So you can actually see that our city wall here, if I just move that so you can see behind my face, here's our city wall, and here you can see it's made up of loads and loads and loads of different pieces of flint. So using this map, I wonder if you can tell me why flint is so popular in Canterbury. So find Canterbury on this little map here and tell me why you think flint is so popular, and then you can write your answer just here on the worksheet. Okay, so pause the video and do that now. Okay, now this was a fun one to research. So, can you swim in Venice's canals? The answer is no, definitely not, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. So, Venice doesn't have a complete modern sewage system. Now, I'm sure those of you have heard of sewage. Sewage is basically the waste that is taken from our houses, from your toilet, from your bath water, from your sink. And Venice doesn't have a modern sewage system, which means that its canals are also its sewer. Twice a day, the tide from the sea comes into Venice, grabs the dirty water and removes it out to sea, replacing it with cleaner seawater. But not only that, the canals are also used for transport. Now, it's not just the gondolas that use the canals, it's also motorboats, which means petrol. So this means that not only are the canals quite dirty twice a day, but it also means that they're full of vessels going backwards and forwards. They're very, very busy, which means if police see you swimming in the canals, not only are they going to think that you're a bit naive because of the dirty water, but they can also slap a fine of €500 on you. Okay? Every day in the UK, about 347,000 kilometres of sewer collect over 11 billion litres of wastewater. So this is all treated at different sewage treatment places around the UK. And then the water is discharged to inland waters, estuaries and the sea. So the water's cleaned as much as possible and then it's sort of pumped back into the country and back out to sea. Which means that in theory, the River Stour should be okay to swim in. Now I wouldn't go swimming in the River Stour acting like it was a swimming pool, because it's probably a little bit dirtier than a swimming pool, but it's definitely cleaner than the Venice canals. Okay, so what I'd like you to do for your main task today, all of that other stuff was a warm-up. We've learned a lot. We've learned a lot about the lots of different physical, geographical features of Canterbury and Venice. So you are going to have to create a poster which compares them. Okay, so you can research more physical, geographical features of Venice if you really want to, and then tell me how that affects how the people of Venice live. Okay, so if I were you, if I was making a poster comparing Canterbury and Venice, I would have my poster like this, landscape probably. I'd put a lovely little line going straight down the middle of it. On one side, I would have Venice, and on the other side, I'd have Canterbury, and then I would directly contrast the two. Okay. Now, with your poster, I would like it to be incredibly clear with lots of titles. I want to see Venice on one side, Canterbury on the other side very, very clearly. I'd love there to be a lot of information. You could probably use something like bullet points or numbers to make sure it's really presented really, really clearly. And I'd like to see a lot of colour because I would like to shove some of your work, not just one or two people's works, a good group of your work that you submit onto Dojo, and put it straight onto the class story so that everyone in the class can see it. Maybe everyone in the school can see it if I chuck it up onto Twitter as well. Okay, so take your time with this. Remember, the more time you take, the better your work's going to be. I can't wait to see it. Good luck, guys. I'll see you later. Bye.